And it's troubling because a lot of people were able to see what happened inside this apartment behind me because videos were uploaded to the social media platform Snapchat.
Okay, Snapchat. How often do you use Snapchat?
Never.
Jared? Never?
I don't use it.
Actually, I know this because I Snapchat him and then he opens it a week later and I'm like, okay.
I don't use it. I have no reason to use it. I know a lot of people use it for a specific type of reason, and I don't ever send those pictures. So I just don't use it. I stay away from it because, as we could tell, guys, whatever is on the internet stays on there forever. And I definitely do not need my Snapchats being somewhere out there forever. So I just decided to X that when the dog filter came out.
I love that filter. No, you know, Snapchat as a company can see every single snap that's ever been sent.
What about taken but not send?
Ooh, you just threw a spanner in the works. I don't know about that.
Because if that's the case, then they have seen some things that they don't want to see.
A lot of things. What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host, Ibn Hassan.
I'm your guest host, surprise host, Top 10 Central host, Jared Bronstein. Speaking of Top 10 Central, come check us out.
Come have a laugh with us, you guys. What do we do there, Jared?
We just react to some funny stuff, specifically Karens and TikToks and challenges and other things.
It's a whole lot to deal with.
You guys will definitely enjoy it, because if you guys are scared from these Snapchat stories, which I will say, some of them are kind of scary, and you're like, wow, I'm very scared now, come to Top 10 Central, be like, I'm no longer scared, I'm laughing, and I forgot about my fear of what I was just scared about. That's right.
Either way, guys, let's get straight into this one. These are the top 10 scary Snapchat stories, part 2.
Oh.
Starting us off with number 10 is The Present. So this creepypasta-esque story takes place too close to home in Scarborough, Ontario. Sarah Winderson was just chilling in her living room talking to her boyfriend on Snapchat. And this guy is exactly who you'd want your daughter to date, you know, straight A student, on the football team, good looking, and just all around fun. But he suffered from intermittent explosive disorder, which causes someone to react super angrily to things that don't require that response at all. Either way, the couple was still happy despite his parents not approving of her. That night he snapped her saying, I have a present for you, babe, and oh, he just loved presents. He continued on saying, you know how my parents always hated you, how they always said I was too good for you? Now any normal person would think, oh, he got them to change their mind. He was like, well, there's no need to worry about them anymore, before snapping her a picture of his parents hanging from the ceiling. Blood was dripping down their bodies and he had gutted them like fish. And she was like, what the hell's wrong with you? She dumped him straight away because he's a freaking psycho, and he sent her another snap saying, is that so? The picture attached was of her own front door, so I'm guessing Sarah was next. You just take that man back so he don't kill you.
Coming at number 9, the Snapchat confession. 26-year-old Isaac Andre Renfro posted incredibly disturbing images to his Snapchat story from inside a Utah apartment that led to a police investigation. Their findings would shake a community to its core. A witness of the Snapchat story told Fox News, I quote, he showed a pile of blood on the floor and then a table knocked over, and made his way to where the body was and showed the lady just laying there in a big pile of blood. He was saying, I'm sorry, I apologize to my family and my kids, and then he just said it was his time to shine. As per reports, authorities were responding to a domestic violence call and arrived at the residence around 10:30 a.m. With the intention of getting everyone out alive, the authorities spoke with Renfro over the phone, and shortly after heard gunshots from inside the apartment. A SWAT team would deploy a robot inside to investigate around 2 p.m., and it would be determined that Renfro took the life of his 26-year-old girlfriend, Miranda Schatzinger, and himself. It's unclear how many people saw the Snapchat story before it was taken down, but as per reports, it seems Renfro was inside the apartment with his deceased girlfriend for hours before he took his own life.
At number 8, we have a Snap Map. Now I enjoyed the map feature when it was first released on Snapchat because I got to see what all my friends were around the world, but I turned the feature off very quickly simply because I just don't think people need access to my location like that. And I feel like there's always like those psycho couples that are like, babe, share your location with me, and it's like, dude, relax. Trust issues much? Now either way, back in January of this year, 24-year-old Jersey man Tayshawn Cosme posted a Snapchat of him with a gun and a bunch of money. The police then used Snap Map to locate his car and arrested him the same day for drug and weapons offenses. They also found hollow bullets, a digital scale, and a lot of cocaine in his car. I mean, I'm really no expert or anything, but it's probably best to turn off your Snap Map when you're a drug dealer, you know what I mean? And you have weapons. Just don't do it.
Filling in number 7 slot, Snapchat death list. It sounds just as scary as you think because that's quite literally what this was. A 12-year-old girl from Florida was arrested after it was determined she made a list of students from her school that she was planning to gun down. Apparently the threat was posted on Friday night, with the user claiming she would be following through with the threat the following Monday at school. Upon the list of students being posted to Snapchat, a student informed their parents, who then informed the sheriff's office. One of the threats posted to Snapchat, I quote, indicated that students were not safe and that they would be killed on Monday. Following the 12-year-old's arrest, she would be taken to a juvenile assessment center after admitting to making false threats. She was initially arrested on 2 counts of a written threat to kill and false reporting concerning a firearm. Thankfully, nothing came of the threat and the school operated normally the following Monday, with no incidences occurring, but still, very scary thought.
Now at number 6 is the man. So the night started off like any other night. This guy got home from football practice, had some snacks, and checked his notifications. Surprise, surprise, he didn't have any. He continued on with his night because it was FIFA time, and you already know that means not looking at your phone unless your girlfriend is like bombarding you asking for attention. Me. Now at a total of 9 games later, it's now 1 AM and he decides now is the best time to go to bed since he has school the next day. Good luck waking up at 7, mate. Now he checked his 0 notifications before bed and then left his phone on charge on his dresser. He then wakes up at 5:30 miraculously. Actually untrue, I feel like in high school I could also operate on like 0 sleep. Cannot do that now. Either way, he finds his phone unplugged on his bedside table, which is not where he left it the night before, but he just assumed he must have knocked it over during his sleep or something. Somehow he had 12 Snapchat notifications, all from random people he didn't even talk to. He opened them and they all said the same thing. Who's that man laying next to you? Dude, if I woke up and that happened to me, I would move house. Actually, firstly, I would search my house because what if that man is still in my house just hiding in my closets or under my bed? Ugh.
Coming at number 5, Bridgeman. Back in 2017, 2 8th graders were found 18 hours after a search for their bodies was conducted. To this day, the investigation still remains a mystery, but a huge piece of evidence was found on one of the girls' phones. Their Snapchat story showed the last location they were seen, which was along an old abandoned railway. One photo showed one of the girls walking across the railroad, while the other showed just the railroad with a black and white filter over it. Another video on the girl's phone showed a man on the other side of the railroad walking toward them while shouting, "Guys down the hill." It seemed as if this was an order, and as you can imagine, the man in the video was the main suspect. However, he was so far down in the video you could only make out his clothes, which included blue jeans, a blue jacket, a brown hoodie, and a hat. His head was also down, making it even harder to identify who the man was. Over the years, there have been numerous suspects, but to this date, the investigation is still open and ongoing, and hopefully whoever is responsible for this heinous act will be caught soon.
At number 4 is the best friend. One night this girl was laying in bed and she gets a snap notification from her best friend who lived in another city. She was excited, hoping it'd be a double chin picture or something, and believe me, if that snap notification was from me, it would have been, but it was a picture of her best friend sleeping, and there was no way she took it herself since it was from across the room. 10 minutes later, she gets another snap from her, and this time the picture is a bit closer. The same thing happens again, and this time the person is super close to her now. The 4th snap comes in and it's a close-up of her best friend's neck sliced open, soaking her pillow in blood. Her first instinct was to call her friend's parents, who ran into her room to find their dead daughter and nothing else. Upon investigation, police found out that the snaps had been sent to everyone on the girl's list, along with a 5th snap saying, "I'm coming for all of you." Okay. Alrighty. Then the girl changed her number, got a new phone, all of it, but it wasn't enough. One by one her friends started dying, and you couldn't even trace it back to anything since the snaps came from their own phones. The girl woke up one morning to her roommate asking why she opened her window in the middle of the night. She hadn't. So I'm guessing she is next.
Filling our number 3 slot is the ghost of Snapchat. A woman named Lindsay was doing her thing, shaving her legs in the bathroom and listening to some music like we all do. Unfortunately, her phone was vibrating from the music she was shaving to, and it ended up falling in the toilet. This led to her getting a new phone off of Craigslist, so you can imagine things got quite scary from this point on. She got a deal on the phone as it apparently belonged to a recently deceased elderly man, something that clearly didn't bother Lindsay. After a few weeks, Lindsay got a Snapchat request from a stranger. All of her data from her old phone was already transferred through iCloud, so this new request was from a total, complete stranger. At first, she would receive random letters, numbers, and emojis, which didn't mean much at all. Every Snapchat she sent back went unanswered, and to no surprise, all of her friends denied they had anything to do with this. Then things got weird when Lindsay was working on her history paper one night. Her roommates had gone on a camping trip, so she was home alone, and that's when the account started sending her Snapchats of what appeared to be her window. The next was a silhouette of her at her desk. Very weird. Lindsay checked out her window and saw nothing, but heard the front door opening. Being on the 2nd floor of the 3-story house, she ran to the top floor, grabbed a hammer, and locked herself in her roommate's room with a dresser in front of the door, just kind of giving it a good old push. The snaps continued coming in, but Lindsay refused to open them. Still, she heard steps coming upstairs and a sinister laugh. Every time she rang for 911, she got a busy tone, and finally when she decided to delete the Snapchat app, she heard a scream. Lindsay then decided, with the phone being completely useless to her, that she was going to hammer it. With each strike, she heard another scream until the voice and footsteps were gone. Lindsay opened the door, found her home ransacked, and ran to the neighbor's house, who called the cops. The authorities found no proof of forced entry or anyone else in the home, but did find puncture wounds in all the walls and photos. Apparently the investigation is still ongoing, and the phone has not been found since.
Now at number 2 is Ahmaud Arbery. So if you're unaware, on the 23rd of February, a 25-year-old unarmed black man called Ahmaud Arbery was shot to death while jogging. The assailants were 3 white residents of the neighborhood: Travis McMichael, his dad Gregory, and William Bryan. The whole thing was videotaped as William shouted racist slurs at Ahmaud's dead body. Now the Glynn County Police Department claimed the Brunswick District Attorney's Office advised them not to arrest anyone, which is shocking. How do you not arrest them for murdering a man in cold blood unprovoked? Turns out the DA George Barnhill had connections with his son and Gregory McMichael, and that's why he wanted no arrests to be made. He recused himself from the case, and eventually the 3 men were indicted on 4 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and more. The fact it took 74 days to arrest the McMichaels is beyond me. Then a report circulated that Travis's sister Lindsay posted a Snapchat photo of Ahmaud's dead body, citing her reasons as being a huge fan of true crime. Like, I'm sorry, just because you like true crime doesn't give you any reason to snap an image of someone your brother and dad just murdered. He's not a freaking trophy animal. This one pissed me off, you guys.
Finally, at number 1, the Snapchat hostage. In 2018, a boy was held hostage, and those responsible for holding him were sending demands to his family over Snapchat. Apparently, the victim was an acquaintance of those who held him hostage, and thankfully, he would be returned to his family safely unharmed. However, prior to police tracking down and arresting the 5 people involved, which included a 15 and 16-year-old, as well as a 22-year-old and 2 19-year-olds, it was a scary scene. As per reports, a family member notified the police after images of the victim were sent to the family through Snapchat, being held at gunpoint with a demand for money in exchange for the boy's safe return. Everyone involved in the case is believed to have known each other, and this didn't appear to be a random incident. When all was said and done, the 5 people involved were facing a slew of charges, including kidnapping for ransom or service, uttering threats to cause death or bodily harm, possession of a loaded firearm, extortion, assault with a deadly weapon, among a handful of others.
And that is it for today's video, guys. I've started using Snapchat more recently, but I feel like I just shouldn't.
Guys, you know my stance on this one. I don't need anything like that out there.
Okay, not for those pictures, just for like the funny filters, you know, when
Instagram
you're like,
has filters.
yeah, but you can't be like as ugly as you want to be, you know? Instagram's you being perfect, Snapchat is your real true self.
Again, I don't really have anybody to snap with, because why would I?
Okay, well, it's not my fault you don't have friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, I've been your host for this one, Eamon Hassan.
I've been your guest host, Jared Bronson. Come check out Top 10 Central for a good old laugh, but until next time, I guess she'll see you soon, not me.
Bye!
Unless you come to Central.
So, without further ado, wait, do we have to say the link will be where?
I'll be honest, I don't know what we say anymore. Oh.
Bye. Oh, I'm so small again. Okay.
My stories are not nearly as as that one. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How crazy is that?
I hope you realize I'm not listening to your stories.
Oh.
I'm on Snapchat. Well, I just didn't listen to that one. I feel bad now.
To this, I can say that, right? None of that indicated that. Okay.
Heinous.
Heinous. What did I say? Heinous?
Heinous.
That's not even how it's spelt. It's literally spelt. It's literally spelt heinous. It's literally spelt H-E-I-N-O-U-S. I said what?
All blue jeans. Like, all blue jeans.
Instead of blue jeans, I said out blue jeans.
Blue jeans.
Oh my god.
Way to catch it. All right, I'll take that whole thing again. A woman named Lindsay was doing her thing, shaving her legs. It's cut off. Mother. Fill out our number 3 slide.
I've never done that.
No one has. That's why I make a joke of it.
Ha ha ha.
Okay, can I film my part now?
You know I have trouble with my eyesight.